I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of sick of painting details. Aren't you? I get it, it's kind of a weird thing for a miniature painter to say that they're sick of painting details. But to be completely honest, I'm not overly convinced that they're even that important. I mean, sure, we've got to do something, and when it's this small, that's what she said, everything's kind of a detail. But what if we traded the idea of painting every detail with creating an atmosphere across the entire model?
We've got a model, paint, and an idea. Saddle up, nerds, we're going in. We're going to make this look like some kind of kaiju that's, come up from the depths of the Mariana Trench. So to pull off some of those weird transitions, we're going to be using wet blending primarily. And our first port of call is the Darkness, which is a very deep blue-green, and Terrestrial Titan. I'm using both of these paints straight from the bottle with no thinning at all. Although I will say I keep my brush damp at all times, so there is a little bit of extra moisture in there. But as far as consistency goes, yep, straight from the bottle. There's really only a couple of things to look out for here when you're wet blending. First thing is the amount. While I am being fairly heavy-handed with the amount that I'm putting on, it's also not so ridiculous that it's going to clog any details. And this can take a little bit of practice to get used to the volume. Secondly is the colors that you're mixing together. When it comes to acrylic paints, blue is generally fairly aggressive. It's incredibly intense and most of the time overbearing. Keep that in mind, you're going to need a little bit of the extra color that isn't blue if you're mixing it into blue. Another good thing to remember with wet blending is let the first layer dry. And because we are using a heavier layer of paint, you're going to want to give it a little bit of extra. Since this model is more about creating an atmosphere, I'm going to be building volumes in a slightly different way. After our first blend of the Darkness and Terrestrial Titan is dry, I'm going to come back in with a little bit of that Terrestrial Titan before wet blending in the next layer with Diabolic Plum. And this is as far as I'm going with highlights. All I'm looking for is weird creepy gradients with the brighter colors being somewhere towards the top or facing towards the top of the model. Even though we're not traditionally highlighting with this technique, I am going to still want to put focus on the head. So with Diabolic Plum and introducing some Wicked Pink, I am going to go a step further for just the head. This is going to give us a big, bright, bold spot for our eyes to be drawn to and gather all that attention. And since we're not focusing on details, this is really going to help with the readability of the model. And while that pink is still wet, I did bring in a tiny little bit of the darkness just to darken around the eyes.
One of the coolest things that's happened here on the channel is recently I've become a member of the Army Painter Factory team. And while that's awesome for me, you get something out of it too. If you go to the Army Painter web store at checkout, you can use Heresy5 to get a discount off your order. And if you are one of the best Patreon members in the world, there is another code in there for an even bigger discount. Links for the Army Painter and the Patreon are in the description.
For the carapace, I went with Deep Ocean Blue as a base, which is a whole step up from the Darkness. You could use the Darkness as a base coat for this, but I find taking that little step up really helps to define some of the different areas on the model. And again, this is just to help with readability. From here, I'm going into Triumphant Navy, doing the exact same thing that we did with the Darkness and Terrestrial Titan, and this is just to start picking out some weirder volumes. We don't really care about details, but we do care about the shapes. I'm also sticking with darker, desaturated colors because we're going to use that as a little bit of a contrast from what comes next. Because this is supposed to have a deep ocean monster feel, we need a little bit of that luminosity. So I'm going to start wet blending in a little bit of Talisman Teal towards the end of these little tentacly things. The thought process behind this was somewhat of an anglerfish. We're also going to do this on the peaks of the carapace and claws. And this is actually for a little bit of balance. Because they are so bright and glowy, if we just left this color to the end of the tentacles, it was going to draw away from the face. And with how this model's laid out, we can actually use the carapace and all around to start to frame the head. And for the highest highlight, we're going to use Neptune Glow to pick out all the highest sticky outy bits. To get the blends on the carapace, I used a mix of wet blending and a little bit of glazing. But all the back and forward work was done while the paint was still wet. If you find that the paint's drying a little bit too quickly for you, you can mix in a little bit of retarder and that will slow the drying. To give these spots a little extra kick, I'm going to pull out Data Systems Glow. Now, because this is an effects paint specifically designed to kind of act somewhat like a wash and go into recesses, this is not what its intended usage is for. But if you stick with it, wait for it to dry and put on 3 or 4 different coats, it gets incredibly vibrant. But this is also going to work in our favor. Because it is so thin, it means we can work from a little bit further out. So I'm actually starting from the blue and then bringing it up into the peak at the Neptune Glow spiky parts. And after a couple of coats, it's going to give us a glowing gradient. It's also going to act a little bit like a glaze and start to help blend some of those layers in together. And while for this particular model we are looking for that glow, this is also a technique that I use to hyper saturate some of my colors, especially when it comes to pink and blues for synthwave. And yes, these are UV reactive. A black light is going to make it pop.
Creating an atmosphere and painting all the little details aren't mutually exclusive. If you combine the two ideas, you could end up with a golden demon. But when you concentrate on focus and feeling, it becomes something more than just a 3D paint by numbers. But that's a video for another day. If you do want to see that in the near future, maybe hit subscribe.
Because we're not focusing on details as much and we've put a lot of glow around on this carapace and tentacles, we do run the risk of the model becoming very samey-same. Which means we need a statement maker. And for that, we're going to Synthwave Candy Corn. Out of this whole video, this is probably the best example of wet blending. There is a lot of back and forward in wet blending or in mini painting in general that we don't really get to see too often on videos. And yes, while it is moving quite quickly, you still get to see the back and forth and the reapplication of paints and layers. You also get to see how the colors disappear into each other while you're wet blending. And while different parts may change, the technique doesn't. Even on a wider, flatter part like this weird little cape that the Death Leaper has, you're still doing the same thing. You're laying down a fairly generous coat of one color, doing the same with the next color and mixing it together just like you would on a palette. You're not trying to create a new color, you're just trying to blur the difference between the two. Even though this video is framed inside of creating an atmosphere as a foundation, this is essentially army painting. Either leaving out or giving very minimal care to details just doesn't matter. As always, a massive thank you to InGames, the Army Painter, all of our amazing Patreons that keep this going, and of course, you for watching this. Big love, you filthy animals.